I will be talking about the UFC Fight Night Volkov vs Aspinal main event of, well, Volkov vs Aspinal. So in this fight, this is going to be a big step up for Tom Aspinall. In his last fight, he beat Sergey Spivak with a TKO in the first round via an elbow to the face and then punches. And if you see how Sergey Spivak looked against Greg Hardy, he looked amazing. Although Greg Hardy is not the highest level of the sport, but he's a huge guy, and he was able to ragdoll him like he did. And Spivak just ran through Spivak like how Spivak ran through Hardy. And then, yeah. But yeah, Tom Aspinall's wins all seem to be aging pretty well, besides Bordeaux. I think that's how you pronounce Alan Bordeaux. But even then, he looked alright against Parker Porter, who himself is on a 3-fight winning streak. But yeah, if you go through Tom Aspinall's wins, Jake Collier, arguably on a 3-fight winning streak right now. He arguably beat Carlos Felipe. Then he came back and beat Chase Sherman by submission. And he looked great in that fight. And that's a guy who used to be a middleweight. And Tom Aspinall just completely ran through him. So if we're going just by momentum, Aspinall's obviously got all the momentum in the world in this fight. But Alexander Volkov definitely got the experience. But he did not look good, in my opinion, against Marcin Tybura. But that's just Marcin Tybura for you. He's really tricky. He can make people look bad. Even if he loses every single round, he'll make you look bad with his style. But Volkov looked good against Gane. So unless Tybura is a level above Gane, but I doubt that. I think styles just make matches. And in my opinion, that's just a tricky matchup for both men. Makes them both look a little bad, but in my opinion, I'm going to be favouring Tom Aspinall to take this fight. I just think he's younger. His boxing is pretty good. He's got the ground game to keep Volkov guessing. He's actually originally a jiu-jitsu fighter. His dad was, I believe, one of the first black belts in the UK. So, he submitted Andrei Arlovsky, which not many people have done, and he just yanked him down and took his neck. Didn't even have the hooks in, and got the sub. So he's got some strength in there. So I'm gonna favour Aspinall to get this done. And I'll say via finish, but a piece of me is telling me that it's going to go to decision. We're going to see. I feel like we're going to see Aspinall go all the way, but who knows? It just feels like that. Every time the heavyweight has a main event, he never gets a finish like a rising star. They always got to go the distance. That's just like a heavyweight trend I've noticed. But I think Aspinall will get the finish here, but it'll be later. Maybe the second round, third round. But we don't really know much about Aspinall's cardio, and Volkov has shown decent cardio. He doesn't go away. So this is definitely going to be very interesting in regards to what we'll learn about Tom Aspinall in this fight. But what we do know is he sparred with Tyson Fury. He was one of Tyson Fury's main training partners, and we know he's got good hands and he's got good jiu-jitsu. And apparently he's got elbows too. He didn't know he had them either. I remember him mentioning he's never thrown one in practice, but then he just knocked Spivak out with one. So maybe we'll see some more spontaneous moves from Aspinall. Maybe he knew that in a past life or something. But yeah, I think this fight's going to look pretty interesting. I believe this is the tallest opponent Tom Aspinall's faced, at least in the UFC. Bordeaux. Yeah, this would be the tallest opponent. So that'll leave the body open for Aspinall, perhaps. So maybe he'll go low, go throw some kicks. I don't think Volkov's going to be going in there and trying to take him down, but I mean, you never know. Volkov took down Blades just for the fun of it. He was losing the fight. He just randomly took him down just for the fun of it. I guess he wanted a moral victory there, but I think this should stay a striking match. Volkov's got a decent amount of reach on him. I think Volkov could try and mix it up and go for the grappling, but I think if anyone's going to mix up their grappling, it'll be Aspinal to keep Volkov guessing. But I'd say he might just do that to have openings on the feet, but he could maybe go in there and try and submit Volkov, but Volkov's showing great takedown defense. Even against Blades, I mean, eventually he gets taken down, but then it just shows the ability to keep going. His cardio is very good for the heavyweight division, which, cardio can win you fights, and maybe we see Volkov's cardio win him this fight, but it's definitely going to be an interesting fight. And I'm glad we're getting this fight, because there was a lot of is it going to happen, is it not going to happen. Aspinall was getting told they had replacement plans, but he didn't even get told who it would be, so like, how are you meant to train for that? So I'm glad for his sake that he's getting this opponent, the guy he was training for, the 6'7", 6'8" Russian striker. So that's good for Aspinall, but yeah, no, this fight's going to be pretty interesting. Aspinall second round TKO, and then I don't know where either man would go after a win for this. I'd say if Aspinall wins, you could do him versus Tai Tuivasa, but do you really want to kill off two heavyweight prospects straight away when you could use Tai Tuivasa's star power against somebody else? I heard there's rumblings of him versus Stipe, but I don't know if Stipe is going to come back for Tai Tuivasa, But if he does, that's a fight. Or even you could do Aspinall versus Stipe, which that would be a fun fight in my opinion. Stipe would definitely shoot some takedowns, and we'd see how Aspinall reacts to them. But then also you got Derek Lewis, just lost to Tai Tuivasa, so maybe if Aspinall beats Volkov, he did say he wanted to take his fight slowly, and then he got this fight. He was meant to fight Shamil at first, but then he got put up to fight Volkov because Till fell out against Uriah Hall, so that didn't end up happening for the main event of the card. So I think he'll still try and build himself up slowly, maybe, perhaps. So I think he'll be looking for Derek Lewis after this fight, but you never know. I know Curtis Blades is fighting Chris Daukaus on the next week's card. So maybe he'll face the winner there, but then also that winner could face Garn. So, there's heavyweight divisions all over the place. Ngannou's going to be out for 9 months because of his knee surgery. So, yeah, whoever wins this, they're in a great spot, but they're in a weird spot. Don't know where they're actually going to go after this. What are they going to do? Maybe it will be clear if they get a call out. And then for the loser, I'd say Volkov could fight Rosenstruck if he beats Tybura, maybe. Or maybe he could fight Chris Daukaus if he beats Blades, which I doubt. It's really in an interesting spot. You could even maybe, if Volkov beats Aspinall, you could do Volkov versus Tai Tuivasa. There's just some really interesting matchups to be made. But it's it's definitely interesting times. Volkov's one of the only people who hasn't fought Ngannou, so if he got a more favourable matchup, maybe they'll try and get him up there against Ngannou, but who knows? Ngannou might not even come back to the UFC with this whole, but it's looking likely that he might. But anyway, I'm rambling on a little bit here, but yeah, I'd say Aspinall versus number 5 Derek Lewis if he wins. It's only up a spot from Volkov, but why not? It's a legend in Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis likes fighting new fighters. He doesn't really like rematches, I don't think. That's one of the only reasons he fight Ty, because it was one of the guys he's never fought before. So this is definitely an interesting division, and it'll be a clearer picture after this fight. But yeah, I think I'm rambling on a little bit too much about this, but yeah, should be a good fight. Be interesting to see if it goes the 5 rounds or goes into the championship rounds. But Yeah, I definitely got a Aspinal by finish. Could even see a submission, but Volkov's takedown defense is good, but so is Arlovsky's, and he got his neck taken, so who knows, hey? But yeah, I'll go with Tom Aspinall by second round TKO, and we'll see him versus Derek Lewis next. Is my prediction. So yeah, thank you for listening. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tell me if you want to see me do any other videos like predictions, any like card building videos. You want to see me talk about dark horses maybe of the divisions, who could be the potential unranked nightmare matchups for champions. Like I'm looking for ideas. I'll make a video. I like talking about MMA, as you can tell. So thank you for listening to all this, and yeah, have a good one, everybody.